Hi there, and welcome to the Google Ads Fundamentals Part 3 live session. For those of you who missed Parts 1 and 2, you can find the links to the videos in the description below. For those who've already watched the previous videos, welcome back. In this session, I'd like to show you some ad formats and advanced features so that you can nicely customize your text ads. My name is Lisa Preuss, and I'm the founder and managing partner of an online marketing agency called Click. I'm also one of 9 Google certified trainers here in Switzerland, and super excited to get to take you through the following agenda. First off, we'll be diving into expanded text ads, and after that, I'll take you through advanced Google Ads features like the keyword insertion, the countdown function, and the if function. Then we'll look at ad customizers, followed by responsive search ads or RSAs. Then we'll look at dynamic search ads or DSAs. And then I'll take you through all of the different kinds of ad extensions that there are. After that, you're more than welcome to get all your questions answered throughout our Q&A session. So for those of you who are watching this live, feel free to add your questions to the comment section on your right, and I'll try to answer as many of them as I can. If you're watching this video as a recording, you're still more than welcome to ask questions in the comment section, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. One more thing before we get started. If you'd like to read up on some of the things we'll be discussing in this video, check out the Google Ads Help Center. It's got loads of resources and step-by-step guides, so you can really read up on anything much more in-depth that has to do with Google Ads. And with that said, let's get started. First off, we'll look at expanded text ads. Now, as I'm sure you know, this is what a text ad can look like. At the top, we can see the display URL, which is made up of the actual website's URL, followed by a slash, and then up to 2 × 15 characters that you can customize, giving the user a sneak peek preview of where they'll end up if they are to click onto your ad. We can then see 2 different headlines. But the cool thing about expanded text ads is that you can actually add up to 3 headlines, and each contain a maximum of 30 characters, and that's including spaces. Of those 3, usually 2 will be shown at a time, and Google Ads will actually optimize which 2 to show based on different user signals. And it's the same for the description. Here in this example, we can see that 1 description is being shown, but thanks to expanded text ads, you can add 2 different descriptions, each with 90 characters, and that's again including spaces. And Google Ads will optimize for which description to show based again on user signals. So this really gives you some leeway to add more than just the headlines or descriptions that are being shown. And you can leave the optimizing to Google Ads. Here's tip number 1. Make sure to take full advantage of your character limits. Headlines have up to 30 characters and descriptions up to 90 characters. Use that space. Get real creative and try to text in as much as you can in the space that you have, because here's the thing. Longer headlines and descriptions, they increase that clickable space that users have, and they also further qualify clicks because you're able to give more information about yourself or your product or your service making it even more understandable for the user to select which of the ads that are being shown he prefers to then click on. Now, I'm sure some of you may already have text ads in your Google Ads account, and you're going, oh, cool, expanded text ads. All right, well, I guess I'll just add another headline and I'll add another description. Well, I'm just going to stop you right there. Because before you add another headline and add another description to existing text ads, use this to really think through your ad creative. Rethink what you'd like to communicate to your user. Don't just use what you have to your advantage, but craft a message that's super focused on user needs, on how the user will benefit. And then go ahead and try to text 3 headlines and 2 descriptions. As mentioned, this will really help you reveal even more information about your business, your products, and your services. And users really respond to that. So go ahead and try it out. Here's another tip. Under the keywords rubric in your Google Ads account, there's a search terms section. And this shows you all of the different terms that were actively being searched for by users when your ad not only appeared, but they clicked on your ad. Go ahead, check out that section. See whether or not there's some interesting search terms that you could possibly even integrate into your ads. And try to really put yourself into your user's position. Think through, if this is what they're searching for, what is it that they're looking for? What is it that they want? How can I try to appeal to them with my ad for their certain state of mind? Here's another tip. Avoid generic sales language in your ads. We all know what this is like. Wording like call now or get back to us today, they don't work on us anymore. We have become so good at really tuning out the false sense of urgency that I want to urge you to do it better. And you can do that by tailoring your call to actions to the buying cycle. Depending on what your user is searching for, that's something you can try to integrate into your call to action. So let's say, for example, you were selling olive oil and a user were to search for a very generic search term, something like buy olive oil. Well, hey, as a call to action, you could try to reach out to them with a very generic call to action, something like discover our various olive oil products. On the other hand, if a user is searching for something very distinct, something like Italian extra virgin olive oil, bingo. This is your chance to reach out to them with a very distinct call to action. And you can do that by saying, check out our Italian extra virgin olive oil here. Voila. In fact, users are much more likely to respond if you're actually telling them to do something that aligns with their current state of mind, with your current search terms. So in a nutshell, here's how to create compelling text ads. For the headlines, make sure to introduce value propositions and use those keywords. Try to even make them as close to the actual search terms that the users are actively searching for as possible. And test, that is the beauty of having expanded text ads. You have 3 headlines as 3 different types of ad copies that you can test against each other. Also, make sure to include things that are officially also on your site, different brand terms, to make sure that it's aligned with your landing page. And as for the descriptions, you have 90 characters. Use as many of those as you can to educate and inform your users. Still, make sure to avoid a false sense of urgency, avoid generic language, and take full advantage of your character limits. Also, with regards to the URL paths, well, hey, this is giving a user a sneak preview of where you'll send him if he is to click. Make sure it's something that aligns with that user's search query. Because at the end of the day, he's really just curious about where he's going to be ending up on your website. So you can really nicely reach out to him here with a URL path that aligns with that. And now, let's check out some advanced Google Ads features. Starting off with the keyword insertion. And as the name suggests, by adding a keyword placeholder, we allow Google Ads to replace that with a keyword that we're bidding on depending on a user's search term. So if we had a keyword insertion as one of our headlines, and we were bidding on different keywords, like for example, Italian olive oil, Spanish olive oil, as well as high quality Italian and Spanish olive oil, and a user were to search for Italian olive oil, then this keyword placeholder from our headline would be automatically replaced with our keyword. And in this case, our keyword is even equal to the user's search term, meaning our text ad would look like this: Italian olive oil. How relevant is that in the headline, seeing as it's exactly what the user is searching for? Now still, for those of you wondering, well, why doesn't it just insert the user's search term then? Here's why. Chances are a user may be in a rush or not an English native speaker and may misspell something in the search query or search for something that's grammatically incorrect. That's why this is not replacing your keyword placeholder, but instead a keyword that you're bidding on, because chances are that keyword is grammatically correct. So even if a user were to search for Italy olive oil, which is grammatically incorrect, that would be substituted in our headline with our keyword that we're bidding on. So Italian olive oil. And now, if someone were to search for high quality Italian and Spanish olive oil, what do you think would be inserted into the keyword placeholders place? And if you're thinking, oh, well, there's a keyword that exactly matches this search query, try and think back to how many maximum characters were allowed in a headline. And you'll remember that we have a limit of 30 characters. And this is far beyond 30. So in this case, what actually happens is instead of inserting a keyword, Google Ads will fall back to the actual keyword placeholder, which we've defined in the headline, and it's premium olive oil. And to make sure you know how to create this in your text ad, I'd like to show you the ads account and how to set up such a keyword insertion. Here under the Ads and Extensions rubric, under Ads, you can easily create an ad for your campaign. In this case, we'll be creating the text ad. And you can see It's asking me now for which campaign and ad group I'd like to add this ad for. And here we go. I can see the keywords I'm bidding on within this ad group up top. And here we can see how an ad is created. So first off, you insert the final URL, and this is the actual place within your website a user will be directed to if you were to click on your ad. It's not necessarily equal to the display path, because here we actually have, as mentioned earlier, the character limits of 2 times 15 characters. And of course, a final URL may sometimes be much, much longer than that. But again, the display path is meant to show the user where he's being led to. So it's important that it is relevant for that search query of the user. For the keyword insertion, especially if we want to add it as a headline, we enter a brace or curly bracket and then type in the word keyword. Now, the interesting thing about this is depending on how you write the word keyword with regards to capital letters and lowercase letters, your headline will change. Now, while you can see that writing the word keyword all in lower caps shows me also here that everything will be in lowercase, that means that when a keyword is inserted into here, each word will be in lowercase. If I capitalize the word keyword, what happens is the first word out of all the different keywords that will be inserted here, that will be capitalized. The rest will be lowercase. And if I not only add a capital K, but also a capital W, you can see we have the following case called title case, where each word out of the keyword that will be inserted here will be capitalized. Now, we can add a colon and our keyword placeholder and close the curly brackets. There we go. We have created a keyword insertion. Next up, let's have a look at the countdown function. Now, for those of you who regularly have promotions, this feature is fantastic. What you can do is enter the end date of this promotion, as well as the end time, the language that you would like it to be in, and then how many days until that promotion ends. Again, I'm happy to show you this in the actual ads account. We start again with a brace, or curly brackets, and then equals. And now you can see we can easily click on the countdown function, enter when our countdown ends. If this is meant to end at the end of the month, I can insert that date here. And instead of ending at the start of that day, I want it to end at the end of that day. You can also select a custom time. And then I need to add how many days before that end date the countdown should start. So in our case, let's say 10 days before. Here I can select the time zone that it should take, whether it's the account time zone or the ad viewers time zone. By default, it will take the ad viewers time zone, which in this case is also fine for me. And then we can select the language the countdown should be in. Again, by default, we have English here, and this is fine for now. So what I'll do is I'll click apply, and you'll see it is inserted the entire countdown as a headline. Now, while this gives us a little sneak peek preview, a a countdown can quickly become too long for a headline, in which case I highly recommend to use it in the description so that you can nicely have how many days are still left of the promotion if someone is really interested in your ad and reads through the description. For now, though, we will move on to yet another cool feature, and that is the if function. Now, this is especially great for those of you who want to push certain messages across certain devices, because what this allows you to do is actually distinguish what someone on, let's say, a mobile device will see versus people on other devices. As an example, if someone were to want to push sales on mobile devices, what they could do here is have mobile devices show the message free shipping and handling, while on all other devices, it only shows free shipping for orders of 25 or more. And creating this is also really easy. Again, we add the brace or curly brackets, equals, and we can select the if function here. And now we can say, if the device is mobile, then otherwise, there we go. Again, as we can see here, this is too long for the headline, so it makes sense to use it in the description. But just for a quick demonstration, so you know how to set these up, that would be the if function. And in this case, what would happen is, as mentioned, on mobile devices, we'd be seeing the description for everyone with great taste, free shipping and handling. And on other devices, like desktops, but also tablets, we'd have for everyone with great taste, free shipping for orders of 25 or more. And now let's move right along to the ad customizers. This feature is a little like the keyword insertion, but so cool for those of you who have really complex e-shops, loads of inventory, because to be honest, keyword insertion won't help you much there. And that's where the ad customizer comes in, because here you can create parameters that are automatically replaced with dynamic text when an ad is served. And this can depend on things like a user's search query, or the user's device, the user's location, the date that a user was searching for something for, or the day of the week, as well as the time that it was being searched for. And all you have to do is create a little table with those different parameters, and then upload that table as a CSV format, as a CSV file to Tools and Settings under the Setup rubric in Business Data. So for example, if we had a home appliance store with not only hundreds of different mixers, but I mean thousands of different products. Just for our 200 different models of mixers, we would have to write 200 different text ads. Thank goodness for the ad customizer, because this way the ads are actually dynamically going to adapt to these different parameters that we set up, depending on certain placeholders. And I think the best way to show this to you is through the following example. I've put together a little table here with the target keyword, as well as different models of our mixers, the cubic capacity, the type of mixer, the prices, and the different number of models of these types of mixers. Of course, this list can be much, much larger, but what we would have to do here is download this as a CSV file and upload it to Tools and Settings under Setup here under the Business Manager. Now you can click onto this plus and say Add Customizer Data. Select the file from your computer, which is the one we just downloaded. Give this file a name, and I highly recommend to keep this name as short as possible because you'll see in a moment that for the Add Customizer, we actually have to add the name of this file to every single one of our parameters. We click Apply, and voila. It will upload our table to the business data, and from here on out, it's so much easier to create text ads that will automatically add all of the information that we need depending on the parameters that we've set up. So let me show you how that's done. Again, under Add, we can create a text ad. And here, we open up the curly brackets. And as you can see, it asks us about the Add Customizer. So we'll add the name of the file here, and then what we would like it to insert here. So of course, we want the model of that blender to be shown in the headline. And we can add any other of the parameters that we've set up in that table to other headlines or even the description, and it'll automatically be replaced. To show you what that could look like, here's one full example. Now, in this text ad, we have the model shown first, followed by the cubic capacity, the type of blender, how many models, and then at the end, the price. And each of these parameters will actually be exchanged with the information from our table and show users who are searching for, let's say, the ProMix 300 mixer, exactly this text ad. So we can see ProMix 300 blender, which is the model, profit now, call to action. Then we have the cubic capacity. It's 2 liter. It's the type with the swivel head. And there are 4 models of this kind of blender to choose from. Starting at, here's the blender price for the ProMix 300, 219 francs. It's as easy as that. And suddenly you're not having to text 200 different ads, but you can text 2 or 3 with different wording and have all of the information be automatically replaced thanks to Ad Customizers. But that's not all. There is a totally different format even for text ads. And this is known as the responsive search ad, or RSA. Now, the really cool thing about responsive search ads is that they will automatically test and even optimize loads of different combinations of search ad assets using machine learning with the goal of serving the right ad to the right customer on the Google search. And if you're wondering how this works, well, it's like a whole new version of the expanded text ad. So instead of just 3 headlines and 2 descriptions, responsive search ads let you add up to 15. That's right, 15 different headlines and 4 different descriptions. And then, with machine learning, Google Ads will select which combination to show to which user depending on different user signals, like where the user is searching from, in which language, using which operating system, on which device. And the great part is that you can then see those results and how the different combinations are performing by viewing the asset details. Definitely make sure to use these, especially in combination with expanded text ads, so that per ad group you have about 2 to 3 or even up to 5 expanded text ads and at least 1 responsive search ad. And then you can see which of these is performing the best and let Google Ads do all the optimizing. And now let's look at dynamic search ads, or DSAs. Dynamic search ads give you incremental reach because unlike the other formats we've looked at so far, they are not based on keywords that you insert for which you'd like to bid on. Instead, they use machine learning and web crawling technology to determine where and when your ads should show, and then they dynamically generate highly targeted and effective ads for your users. If you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I already have various different expanded text ads plus an RSA, why should I be using dynamic search ads too? Here's the thing. Did you know that 15% of search queries on Google are completely new, meaning that they have never been searched for like that before? Now, this could be due to voice search, because now suddenly instead of short, precise search queries, we're actually talking to our devices in long sentences. There could be other reasons, but that means that there are certainly search queries out there that you may not have or be able to reach out to the users who are searching for this merely based on your keyword list. In other words, you may want to check out dynamic search ads. Here's what happens. When a user searches for something, the dynamic search ads will actually crawl the advertiser's website or that section of the website to see whether or not any part of it matches the user's query. And from there on out, they will dynamically generate an ad with customized headlines, I might add, and direct the user to the most relevant landing page. All you have to do is write 2 descriptions. So here's again what this would look like if I were to break it down for you. Step 1, you define the pages of your website that you would like to have dynamic search ads for, and you write 2 descriptions. And then when a user enters a search query that's not already matching one of the keywords that you're bidding on, then the page that best suits that request is automatically selected, and Google Ads will dynamically generate headlines and a destination URL using these DSAs. So really, dynamic search ads will give you incremental reach, with either positive or even equal to the return on investment from your other types of text ads. And they perform really well in combination. Also, chances are they'll really save you time, and they're extremely efficient for those of you with a large website or even a job portal, seeing as you don't have to spend time thinking through how to create different ad groups and different text ads for each of those pages, but you can have the dynamic search ads do their magic, because they will be created based on your website. And also, DSAs provide full transparency. You can check out the exact search queries that were searched for in the search query report. And you can also control the targets that they're meant to optimize for through automated bidding strategies. So to sum it up, on average, about 86% of dynamic search ads traffic is incremental, meaning that that traffic would not have come to your site had you not had dynamic search ads. Therefore, for maximum query coverage and making sure not to miss out on any relevant search queries, add one dynamic ad group to each of your campaigns. Because you don't want to just be relying on your keywords. And don't miss valuable traffic. And now let's move right on to the ad extensions. Now, if you're wondering what an ad extension is, well, you can see it right here in this text ad. Up top, we have the headlines, and beneath that, we have a description. So this part here, as well as the display URL, this makes up the text ad. Everything beneath that text ad that still belongs to the text ad is known as an ad extension. And there are loads of different types of ad extensions, which is why I'll be taking you through each type in just a bit. But still, if you're not quite convinced why you should be using these, well, look at how much bigger it's making the ad. And not only that, it also makes it much more appealing to users because Google Ads will make sure to show those ad extensions that are adding value to your ad depending on a user's search query. Therefore, as my tip, make sure to implement all of the ad extensions that make sense for you. And here's the big long list of all the different types. So let's dive right in together. First off, we have site link extensions. And as the name suggests, site link extensions are actually links. You see, you can add additional links to other pages on your site in addition to that final URL you would be sending a user to if a user were to click on the text ad. So it really makes sense to use different links to other pages that you think could still be relevant for a user's search query. In this case, we can see two site link extensions here. And in fact, while the site link text is clickable, there's even a little description under that, making this ad almost double as large as it would be without the site link extension. But the description of the site links, they don't always show. And in fact, sometimes only your site link text will show. And in this case, you can see what that looks like on the desktop here. Still, they're clickable for users. So think through top pages that users may also be interested in if they're searching for something particular. Sometimes that might be a price page, or it could be the About Us page, or the Contact Us page, the Offers page. Again, this really depends on your business, on the products and the services that you offer. But think through different possibilities that could be interesting and make sure to add them as site links. Here's what site links look like on mobile devices. Again, they're clickable, or even here, again, also clickable. We also have callout extensions. And I like to explain these by saying that a callout extension is what you would call out to a potential customer if you only had 10 seconds to tell them what makes you different or better than your competitors. So things like 24/7 customer service or free shipping. Those are great callout extensions. So as you can see, these are not clickable, but they do give you a larger text ad. We also have the snippet extension. And here you can select from predefined categories and add to those categories. So one of the categories you can select from are brands. And if you sell different types of shoe brands, you can add those here as a snippet extension. Another category is services. So if you offer different services, then you can list the different services that you offer. And again, it just makes that ad even larger. But still, it is not clickable. Then there are lead form extensions. And this is amazing for those of you who are interested in getting prospective clients. Not necessarily so much traffic, but you really just want the name, the email address, or the phone number of a potential client. And what you can have them do is select the lead form extension and enter those details. And for example, ask for more information. Now, they won't leave the Google search. They'll actually be able to enter it right there and then. But you get this information. You can also send them a customized thank you message and add a URL so that after they've filled out the information, they can be directed to your website. But you can find all of the leads that were generated through this directly in your ads account under the ad extensions by visiting this lead form extension and then opening up the data that was collected here. We also have call extensions to choose from, and these are fabulous if you want users to call your business. And you can see what that looks like on a desktop device. In other words, it's shown, it's displayed, but your user will actually have to get a phone and enter that number. On mobile, it's different. You see, on a mobile device, that number is displayed with a caller button, meaning that that user can directly click on the call extension and it will call through to your business. Now, for those of you panicking, let me just assure you that for the advertiser, this is charged as a regular click. The caller will then be charged, if any, if at all, for the cost of the actual phone call. So depending on that user's mobile subscription plan, he will be the one accountable for the actual call itself. And just as another little tip for you here, make sure to add as an advanced setting from when you're actually available, because otherwise this call extension may be showing up at all times, meaning even in the middle of the night. And if you don't want to get called, then make sure that you set up this call extension in such a way that it doesn't show at all hours, but rather, let's say from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. There's also the possibility to have a message extension. And here what happens is if your phone is ringing like crazy at certain hours of the day, you may want to compensate that with this message extension, meaning that users can also reach out to you via SMS. Now, this works in a similar way to the call extension, in that the advertiser only pays for the actual click itself, and the user is then charged, if at all, for the SMS and the sending of this SMS. But yeah, surely this is great for places like restaurants, maybe even hotels that get many calls at certain times of day to make sure that none of their users are certainly caught up waiting for the phone to be answered by your business and instead can just reach out to you via SMS. The location extension. This is great for all of you who have a location, like an office or a business that can be visited by clients. What you have to do here is link Google Ads with your Google My Business entry, because Google My Business here is actually the data source for location extensions. And you can see what that looks like. Whilst this would be the text ad without the location extension, here, someone is in proximity to that hotel, then they will actually see the location on their device. In case you don't yet have a Google My Business entry, or you're not sure if you have one, then visit google.ch or google.at/mybusiness and enter the name of your company there. And you can either claim that business, or if it's already been claimed, you can request access to that business. And then once that's done and you have the access that you need, you just easily link Google My Business with Google Ads. And if you get stuck on that step there, check out the Google My Business Help Center for more information. For those of you who have affiliates that sell your products, well, you can add an affiliate location extension. And you can do that by first selecting the country that you're in and then checking to see whether that affiliate is available. I have to say though, most of the larger chains of affiliates, they are currently available. So go ahead and check it out. There's also a price extension, and this is great if prices are something you can be really proud of as a business. Why not display it beneath your ad? I mean, look at how large this looks, displaying right beneath this already very large text ad. Suddenly now we're also seeing the different prices. That's what it looks like on a desktop device, and here is what it looks like on a mobile device. Really nice and sleek, if you ask me. But also super informative for the user, because then they can contemplate whether or not this is actually in their budget. There are also app extensions. Of course, this is available for mobile devices, and you can select whether or not to exclude tablets. But sure, if you have an app definitely make sure to add this app extension. And lastly, we have promotion extensions. And this is great for those of you who have different promotions and really want to get the word out about those promotions. Then sure, make sure to add the promotion extension, but also make sure to add the start date and end date for that promotion, because the last thing you'll want is for the promotion extension to still be showing in your ad after the actual promotion is over. And with that said, well, here's a quick overview for you in case you're wondering which extensions are right. Well, regardless of your marketing goals, it's safe to say you should definitely add site link, callout, and snippet extensions. For those of you who want to push the app interactions, go ahead and add the app extension. For those who want to help users get in touch with them, there's the call and the message extension. For those of you who want to push store visits, there's the location or the affiliate location extension. And for those who want to increase sales or conversions, well, why not add the lead form, the price, or the promotion extension? To wrap it up, it's important to know that each of these ad extensions are completely independent from one another. So make sure to use as many as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, Google Ads will decide which to display to which user based on whether or not this is adding value to that ad based on different user signals. But no matter what, please add at least the site link, the callout, and the snippet extension, because by default, they should be added everywhere. Another thing that's important to know here is that ad extensions can be added on an account level, as well as a campaign level and an ad group level. So you can really tailor different ads or different campaigns towards certain end goals by enhancing them with these ad extensions. Mobile-specific extensions are available, which I'm sure is great, especially for those of you who are keen on receiving calls or getting SMSs. That's possible. And even just through a click on your ad over one of these call extensions or message extensions. And yet for many other extensions, it's possible to prefer a mobile device. Also, this is the most beautiful thing about the ad extensions. They can be planned and evaluated, and I mean each and every one of them. So you can see which one is performing. Where can I maybe think of yet another site link, yet another snippet extension, etc. And which you can possibly at some stage replace with maybe another extension. And with that said, I'm going to peek over into the comments section and answer any questions that you have. For those of you who've been saving up their question, well, now is the perfect time to ask. So again, for those of you who missed parts 1 or 2, you'll find the link to those videos in the description of this video. Don't worry about missing the first part of this video. You can actually watch it online after this live session. And although the presentation won't be available, this video will still be available. So you can go back to it anytime and click through the different slides and check that out via this video. I've added some more online resources for you here to check out. So for those of you who are interested, go ahead and have a look at these. I really hope they help you. And now I'd love to hear how you like this video, and you can do so either by entering the short URL or by scanning in the QR code. Thanks so much for your feedback. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and thanks so much for watching.